Okay, so it says control.
Okay. Hey guys, we are live. Okay, show stage. Yeah, we're excited too, Cecile.
Bonsai, everyone.
Do I have a picture on here yet? Picture yet? Bonsai, everyone, welcome. Melissa's trying to figure stuff out real quick. Welcome, guys. We're just waiting for William. Should be with us shortly. But yeah, guys, welcome. He'll be with us soon. I'm just trying to figure out. Oh, nice. Okay. How do I go back to normal? Okay, there's the comments. Still getting used to doing this on my phone because I've been using my laptop, but I haven't gotten a new laptop yet. Oh, it didn't work on Backstage? Why isn't it working for you? Okay. I'm trying to add you, but it's not letting me add you in. Hey, guys, welcome. So edit name. Okay, let's see if she rejoins the queue. How you guys doing? You guys excited for the interview? So I just having a little lollipop while I'm waiting. We're waiting for Melissa and William to join. How you guys doing? Everyone's doing good today? Everyone's having a great day. We're just waiting for William, guys. Melissa was trying to figure out her camera real quick. Media assist. Okay, let's see. Here she is. Now we got it figured out. Hey, there we go. We got it figured out.
Yep,
we got Melissa figured out. See, sometimes it's just annoying.
Yeah.
Wait for William to answer my questions. Oh yeah, what kind of questions do you have, Cecile? Yeah, I was saying it's tough for me to get used to because until recently I was going to do this on my laptop, but then my laptop from my ex decided not to work. So then I was like, okay, I got to do this from my phone now. We got 7 people watching already. Yeah, I hope William comes because he's got an audience.
Yeah.
Soon. I'm actually going to put my phone on the charger till he gets here. Look down for a minute, guys, because my phone needs to be charged a little more. 6 people. We're just waiting. My question for William is, how does he do his own stunts? It's a good question.
That's good, yeah.
I think he'll answer us.
Yeah, and my question is, does he have does at any point does he have any stunt doubles at all?
That's a good question. Yeah, I can't wait till he gets here.
And my second question is, how did he get into karate in the first place? Was he bullied?
I'm sure when he was younger, his family probably said you should take self-defense to protect yourself.
Well, that's what I mean.
What
I mean is, was he bullied when he was younger, or was it just something that he was just interested in, invested in? Like,
it could be anything, honestly. It really could be anything.
Do karate,
Yeah, it could be anything. Yeah, all right. Just waiting. Oh, something fell off my arm. Yeah, it's just waiting to see when he's going to get here, guys. He should be here any minute. He said it would be in this time zone, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, nice. I didn't know I could do that. That's cool. Just tell me all the different stuff I could do for timer and everything. How's everyone's weekend?
Yeah, how's everyone's weekend going?
We got 8 people in the chat. Yeah, it's kind of cool to see me and Melissa on camera together. It's been a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Melissa doesn't always show her camera, so it's kind of nice to see her face. Are you wearing a Disney shirt today?
Oh, yep.
It
Yep.
looks nice. That's a cool
Thanks.
shirt.
I'm a little bit of a Disney nut job.
Nut job. My weekend's going great. Summer's going fast. Yeah,
Yeah.
it can go pretty fast. It can definitely go fast.
Hey, Cecile. Yeah, I just moved into my new place.
How
So,
is, yeah, it looks like it's pretty brand new, similar to mine. Have you been finding it really enjoyable and everything?
yeah, it's had its ups and downs. I'm getting used to it. So,
Do you live there by yourself, or do you and your mom live there now?
me and my parents live here.
Oh, that's nice. Have you ever wanted your own place by yourself, or you like living with your parents?
I mean, at times I've thought about it.
We got
I think
9 people in the chat. That's fantastic. All right, guys. Hopefully our guest of honor will be here any minute. But if you guys, in the meantime, if you guys have any Q&A you want to talk about not related to William, or if you do, just shout it in the chat and we'll answer. You know, I'll answer anything while we wait.
Yeah, me
Even if
too.
it's movie related, TV show related. Oh, is William here? Here he is. All right, our guest of honor has arrived. Hello there.
Hi.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we hear you good.
Am I lit okay?
Yeah.
What'd you say, William?
Can you see me okay?
Yeah, we see you
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, nice to see you too, and thank you so much for the invitation. I appreciate it. I apologize for being a few minutes late.
No, it's
No
okay.
worries. No
It's
worries.
okay. We're just so happy that you're here, and it's so awesome.
It's an honor. It's
So
an
how
honor.
has your weekend been?
Well, I take care of my mom. She's 93, and she fell and broke her hip about 6 months ago. So I've been basically taking care of her, but she's better, but she still can't walk yet. So there's just a lot of care that goes along with taking care of seniors. So it's full circle because you become your parents' parents.
Yeah.
So
That can be tough.
sometimes there are last minute things that need to be taken care of. But that being said, everything else is good, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
That's good to hear that.
I can relate to that because not too long ago, my grandmother, she broke her hip. She fell, she broke her hip, and it was got to the point where she couldn't take care of herself either. So it's like my mom and my aunts, they kind of like have become their caretakers. So you're right, it's a full circle moment. Our whole lives, our parents have been taking care of us, and now it's the kids taking care of the parents.
As it should be. And if you can, then you should. I mean, I understand there are certain situations where people grow up and they they can't because of their jobs and their families and whatnot. But I'm in a situation that has a lot of support and flexibility, so
Absolutely.
It is my great pleasure and honor to be able to be there for my mom. So, and I think I remember you telling me about that on Instagram. So,
and speaking of thank you. Speaking of which, I am so honored that you accepted my request to follow, to speak to you. I really am.
Well,
the world.
Listen, Joseph, I'm just pretty much like everybody else. I just happen to have been in a couple of big projects over the last 35 years. But for most of this time, I've been, teaching karate and working odd jobs. And so I haven't had the celebrity lifestyle thrust upon me.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I mean,
I'm just a regular guy.
Yeah,
and
we understand that, but you gotta understand, we look at you as like a huge thing because this is incredible. Like just being able to speak to you, because I remember watching Karate Kid 3 and I was so young.
Me
And
too.
I was one of the little guys that was standing up like, I want to see more from Dennis, man.
Well, that's very kind of you. Thank you. Yeah,
like you had such a small part, but I followed your career like all the way through, even besides just like Karate Kid and stuff. And I remember as a YouTuber, I was one of the first people to find out that you were coming back for season 6, and I was like, oh my gosh, Dennis is coming back. This is awesome. and I couldn't talk to anyone about it because I was like, oh man, but it was so cool when the word started getting out, and it was awesome.
Are we running live now? Can you?
Yes, we are. We are running live.
And also too is like William, I also don't want you to misunderstand. It's just like whenever you try to like reach out to somebody, it's like, you know, like especially people like who've like been like on like shows like Cobra Kai or The Karate Kid, it's like they have such a huge fan base, they can't reach out to everybody, you know, they can't. Sure. And so it's like, you know, and they deal with fans who act all fan crazy and don't treat them like they're people. And I just wanted to let you know, I'm not one of those fans. Like I try to get to know the person behind the character, you know. You've
been very respectful. Thank you.
And and so it's like I try to reach out to like not because they're famous or anything, like, but just like people I feel like I have like a personal connection with, just because it just, you ever notice how like they say like the eyes are the windows to a person's soul or something like that. It's like you look into a person's like eyes, even as they're in character, and it's like you see them for like who they are outside behind them.
Got you.
And it's like I see you for who you are, and I try to reach out and and I don't take it personally if they don't accept, but I always try to like put the offer on the table and try to show that I'm not like one of those fans, you know, like I'm not those fan crazy who's only interested in because they're famous and that's it, you know?
I hear you. I have had a few people who they would follow me and then immediately, you know, without really even an introduction, would say, can you please tell Ralph to follow me, you know, or can you, you know, hi, thanks, you know, I just followed you. Can you please tell Brendan H. Lee that I'm a big fan and to follow me back? I'm just like, okay, I you know what I mean? It's like, well, that was kind of transparent, but I know you're sincere, and I appreciate that. You've always been very respectful, and I do appreciate, you know, you hooking me up with Joseph, and I subscribed to your channel, and I wanted to support you guys.
I appreciate that so much, and you know, you know, it's been really kind of surreal world, because not only like, you know, I'm sure you hear all the time about like what Cobra Kai means to people and like all those things, but like for me, one of the things that I think has been the craziest thing about meeting and talking with you, and I've told Melissa this many times, is I'm not just a random guy that, you know, goes on YouTube and talks about Cobra Kai and like, oh man, Cobra Kai is awesome and like I love this show and whatever. But when I started getting into Cobra Kai, I started like you really diving into martial arts, and so I've been looking forward to talking to someone as awesome as you because of hearing your stories and what you've gone through, because you know that's become such a so big thing in my life. Like it's helped me through a lot of my struggles, and just being able to relate to someone, especially someone who has gone through that, is pretty crazy. Like I mean, you've been doing it for a long time.
I've been a student for 51 years, and
that's just crazy.
I will still be a student for hopefully another 51 more years, you know.
But you also you're also a teacher, right? Like now you're teaching people, even though you're a student. Yeah.
Yes, I do have a dojo. I've had this dojo for 13 years. It's called the Kaizen Dojo. Kaizen is a Japanese word that has come to mean.
I saw that. I've watched a lot of your videos on that. I've been catching up on a lot of your videos. It's been kind of like a little bit hectic for me a little bit because I've been moving. I'm in my new place right now.
Okay.
But you know, I got interested I wasn't born, obviously I wasn't born in the 80s when the Karate Kid movies came out. I was more born in the 90s. But when I saw the Karate Kid and now watching Cobra Kai, it's like, I mean, I don't take martial arts classes. I wish I'm thinking about doing that. I'm thinking about taking, because it's like, you know, like going back, like watching, especially like with Miguel, I was like, because I was a Miguel. I was Miguel when I was his age, and I connected with him the most. and I was like thinking I could really use a Johnny Lawrence or
Yeah.
Mr. Miyagi
Mm.
or Daniel LaRusso as my as a sensei, as my sensei, someone to just like guide me, because I felt so out of when I was that age. I mean, even now, too, there I felt so much like I was an outcast a little bit, and I got picked on, and a lot of it's because of my my Asperger's. You know, I wasn't social. I wasn't social. I was the kind of kid that just kept my head down and not looking for trouble, and never got into any fights. But there have been like situations where like people would make fun of me, and
Sure.
and even in it's just sometimes sometimes you just want to like put your head in the sand, just like you don't want any trouble. You don't
Sure.
want you want to just stay behind. You just want to stay out of it and just not get into any trouble. And I still get bullied too on online. Like people now don't get me wrong, Miguel is my number one favorite character. But I've often found where I love other characters too, like the characters of Sam. She's not my number one, but I found myself like where I would be defending her, because a lot of people they go after Mary and they go after Sam, and I'm like, will you just get off of it? Just leave it alone. Like, she's not a bad character, and Mary's a terrific person. Just leave her alone.
Have you had a chance to speak with Mary?
No.
She's very. I met her on a couple of occasions. I didn't get a chance to do any scenes with her. She's very nice.
Yeah.
She's very polite, and
I feel like I connect. Like like here's my stance. Like when it comes to Sam and Miguel, like I'm very much like I connect with Miguel, but at the same time though, I also connect with Sam's energy on Cobra Kai, like her enthusiasm. And on where I watched Mary, she says she's added Sam has become like a part of her life. I look at it and I was like, as much as Mary says that Sam has become a part of Sam has become a part of her life, I feel like Mary has become a part of Sam. Like how Sam has become a part of her, Mary has become part of Sam, and I feel like that's what we're watching.
Gotcha.
I feel like we're watching Mary as Sam, Mary as Sam more than just the other way around.
That happens sometimes with acting, although Dennis hasn't become a part of me yet. It's just I'm drawing upon, every human being has a darker side. I just turn up the quietness and the intensity, and that's how. And I grow a mustache, and that's how I can channel Dennis de Guzman. I wanted to ask you too a question. What state are you guys in?
I am in Minnesota.
Okay.
I'm in Florida.
Okay. And how did you guys meet?
So basically we met through the community, and so we started talking through, she was seeing my videos, seeing the hard work I was putting out into Cobra Kai and stuff. And then we started, I think it was right around season 5, season 6, we started doing a podcast together. I had a podcast called Strike First Cobra Kai Podcast.
Yeah.
And we would talk about the show every week.
Gotcha.
And so that was kind of how we really met and really connected. And we talk on the phone every day. And, Melissa reached out to me many times, and she tells me things for videos. She'll give me ideas. She's actually writing, even though they're talking spin-offs for Cobra Kai, we actually have a group that's actually meets during the week that are writing spin-off scripts and coming up with what could be, what kind of cool ideas. And so it's really cool. She's very talented.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of the first spinoff that we're working on is that we're writing is about Sam and Miguel in Okinawa, because I feel like there's a lot of potential there. I
Mm,
feel like Okinawa is a place where a lot of stories can be born, a lot of
sure.
stories can happen. There's a lot of history. I mean, and I think you said that you've been to Okinawa before.
I've been to Okinawa twice. I've been to Japan 6 times, specifically Okinawa. In 2016, I took two trips out there.
Yeah, I wish I could maybe someday. I wish I could go there.
Could
I
you
This,
wish.
recommend could you recommend like if going to Okinawa and stuff? So like for me, one question I had for you, because the similarity between you and I is I started about 4.5 years ago. I started doing karate, right? And like
Mhm.
actual like karate, because martial arts has many different themes, many different like styles. Now you when you started, you did like just traditional Okinawan karate, right?
I started in an oh,
Oh, we think we just lost Joe. Uh
I think my cough bounced him out of here.
yeah, looks like it. Looks like it was more powerful than you thought.
The thing crashed out for a minute. I don't know
Oh,
what's
there
going
you
Uh,
go.
on.
There you are.
Yeah. So I was asking. So yeah. So you started with traditional Okinawan karate, right? Like that's what you started with.
Yeah, there's a few different styles of Okinawan karate, and the style that I was introduced to was called Shorin-ryu karate.
Okay.
There's Goju-ryu, there's Uechi-ryu, but Shorin-ryu karate was the one I started with, and that's the one that I eventually earned my black belt in. And I teach the fundamentals of Shorin-ryu, but I've cross-trained over the years, so a lot of boxing and kickboxing and jujitsu kind of gets woven into there, along with some Filipino martial arts, and a lot of the stuff is stuff that's super practical. I incorporate into my teaching, but Shorin-ryu is sort of the base art.
I
That's
think
where
that's
we start.
awesome.
yeah.
So I go to a dojo called National Karate, and they actually teach. So we do karate, but then like it's kind of a combination of like
Mhm.
Okinawan and like American freestyle like combined together for
Nice.
what's effective today. And we do tournaments, and we have our own little all valleys sometimes, or
Nice.
call it the diamonds and stuff. I've never got to go, unfortunately. I've been training hard to get to go, but it
Yeah.
just has never worked out because life, you of all people know, taking care of your mom, life gets in the way, and you're trying to
Yeah.
figure out, being healthy and take care, and it just that opportunity hasn't really happened yet, but I'm working on it. But I also coach Krav Maga.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
so Israel, yeah. So we really like doing that. Like I trained hard to drill that with people, and really love helping people. Like how to deal with these real situations and how de-escalation works. And it's helped my job too, because like when I'm not doing YouTube, because I do obviously get some form of revenue from YouTube, but I also have to have a full-time job. And
Yeah.
so my
Yeah.
full-time job, I work at the airport, so I do security.
Oh, okay.
So that's pretty important to me. So it's
Yeah.
kind of newer, but there's been situations where like I'm not trying to fight people, but like there's been situations where people have been frustrated, and I've been able to calm them down without it escalating into a worse situation, which
Well,
is
we don't
Yeah.
want to create an international incident at the airport. So
Yeah.
no, no, definitely do not want to do that. Let's not do that. That makes my job very hard. So let's not and say we did.
we're gonna see Joseph on the news for it's like, oh
Yeah.
boy,
Yeah.
I
Yes,
just met that guy. Oh,
people
uh-oh.
are having some problems, and then we get Terry Silver spinning hook kicks going around.
Oh yeah. Yep. S-
Hey,
Um,
did you guys have a few questions that you wanted to ask me
Yes, we
yeah.
specifically?
Yes.
we
Yes.
we do have some questions.
Okay.
Do you want to go first, Melissa?
Yeah. I'll go first. So you say that you've been to Okinawa, and I know you've probably seen the Karate Kid 2 a
Yeah.
dozen times. Um, are there any moves like that they've done that are that are true to the karate like form? Like the drum technique, um, Mr. Miyagi like chopping that wood off of Sato.
You know, a lot of Okinawan karate is taught through the katas, which are the prearranged formal exercises, and in addition to that, the free sparring, but usually the 2-person exercises when you get your partner and you work on specific techniques. I think that's very invaluable. When I saw the Karate Kid 2 years ago, they were doing that drum technique, and that's not necessarily an authentic training method. How it was created for Karate Kid 2 as sort of a it was a Hollywood writers thing, but I immediately recognized what they were trying to teach through that. So this whole idea of this goes and then this goes, and you're
Walking
turning
the
your
front.
shoulders and you're using your torque and everything. And I saw that in the theater. I was like, oh, I know what they're trying to teach here, even though it's a little bit it's kind of not really it's not a real thing, but I could see the value in that. So where I don't necessarily know if there might be people who teach in a similar way, but I think that once you understand certain principles, you can look at almost anything and figure out how to make it into a fighting move.
Yeah.
But the crucial part is, I think it's important to grab a friend or somebody that you can train with and try the stuff out. And then you start to add a little bit of resistance and a little bit of like, okay, let's pressure test it out a little bit. So
Right.
there's some validity in it, even in the fantasy, if that makes any sense.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like if you see the world in a different way through a particular lens, right? You guys see the world in a different lens, and you see things that other people may not, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing, I think, with you can look at something and go, oh, that is a martial arts technique, where somebody can say, I think that's ridiculous. I don't see how that is. But if you can see it and make it work, then it's valid.
See, I think with Joe and me, because of our own uniquenesses, which I refer to as because I don't like the term disability,
Yeah.
because it just seems so off-putting.
Yeah.
Because we're not disabled, not anywhere. We just see the world. We're born a specific way, and we view the world differently in a different way. And so I kind of view, like, with me and Joe, our uniquenesses allow us to see the world for how it should be and how it can be.
Gotcha.
Like, we all may be different on the outside, but we're all the same on, like, our hearts kind of like beat as one on the inside. And we all view how we view things, how we view the world is what makes the difference, is how it allows us to make the difference. And it's hard to see from the beginning, because how we're treated when we're growing up. It's like you have to wonder, it's like, why was I born with this? Why did because I'm the only one in my family with Asperger's.
Right.
And I don't know if you guys can imagine how lonely that was, how different that was. I mean, I could still be treated differently, like, and not, sometimes you feel like you're more outside of the world rather than a part of it. And that can be pretty intense, pretty off-putting.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, it can be a little bit of maybe a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
It allows you to see things for what they are, rather than through a lens, rather than through maybe I guess maybe the better term would be colored glasses, or dark glasses. And you kind of like, I kind of view it as us seeing the world with a bunch of different shades all at once.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Different colors, different colors. People look at a white wall and they say it's white, but we could look at it and we could see a white wall, but we could say it could be like I see purple. Like, I see purple, or I see yellow. I see I see purple with white stripes.
Mm.
And it's like you see what it is for the outside, but you see what it is. But for us, for me and Joe, we see things for what they can be. We
Yeah.
see things for what they are, but we see them we see things for what they are, but at the same time, though, we see things twice.
True.
Since we have double vision, we see things for what they are, a white wall, but at the same time, though, we see it for what we could be, for what it could be, the purple wall.
Mm.
I think that a lot of people with autism and Asperger's can understand that, can really understand that. What I mean, it can be hard for a person who's realistic, like probably a lot of people in this world would not understand that. It's like, well, how could you stand there and say that it's purple when it's clearly white? And it's like it's like I see it for what it can be.
Gotcha.
Not for what it is. And this is where I have to kind of like quote my Uncle Tommy, who passed away.
Oh,
He
yeah.
always said to me, he always said to anybody ever, that if you were staring at a white wall, but if I told him it was purple with white polka dots, he always would say, I would believe you before I would believe my own eyes.
Pretty cool.
And a lot of people, even members in my own family, they never listened. They never understood that. It's like even when sometimes people even in my own family, I'm questioned about what. Well, my own honesty can be questioned a little bit.
Sure.
Even when I'm telling them how sure I am, and I have never given them a reason to like ever doubt, to ever doubt me. And
Gotcha.
it's like if they don't see it the way I see it, or hear it the way I hear it, it's always in doubt. And my uncle, he always stood by that. Always. He
Gotcha.
he always had that level of trust and faith and confidence in me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
He would always believe me, no matter, because I said it, and if I said it, it was true.
Gotcha.
And I think sometimes people unintentionally put the label on you. They take a look at your disability they take away your uniqueness and make it and try to say and think of it as that's what they are.
Gotcha.
And it's not.
100%.
It's not like that.
I wanted to thank you for sharing so much of your story, and I appreciate you getting very personal with me.
You're welcome.
Yeah. That's
Listen, you've gotten personal with us, just by coming on here and being open and be willing to help us and be willing to do this, and that means a lot to us.
It's my honor and privilege to be here for sure. Joseph, do you like to be called Joseph or Joe or Joey?
It doesn't matter. I can take either one.
Okay. Did you have a question that you wanted to ask me?
Yes, I did. So I was going to ask you, so obviously, because, as someone, I understand the storytelling process pretty well because I want to make my own movies.
Yeah,
and so I know, like, when you're drafting something, the final version isn't always the final version, right? So obviously, I know that when they had you and you and Ralph get together and have your fight and stuff, was there anyone else when they worked out your story that you would have liked to face off against that you didn't get to?
You know what? It was they were toying around with the idea of Mike Barnes and Dennis encountering each other. However, the whole thing was part of it was the budget, because
Right.
even though Netflix isn't a very expensive show, they don't get as much money as you would think. Sometimes they still have a budget per episode, and so it was like they wrote this scenario where Mike and Dennis run into each other at the Sekai Taikai, and I do not know anything beyond the extent of that. I never saw the scene, but John Hurwitz and Josh Hield was telling me while I was on set, because I was just asking some questions, and they said, "Yeah, we wrote a scene," and we looked at it and realized that Netflix would never approve it, so it never even got shot, and it was too hard to explain what. I mean, I think it kind of comes down to they have so many characters that
Right.
kind of like, well, we brought Mike Barnes back. Is there any real reason to have him in Barcelona other than just being another coach? And they just have so many characters that they brought him in, and that was his purpose. He moved the plot forward, and that's where we are with that. But it would have been a lot of fun if they had let Dennis and Mike go at it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The fight with me and Ralph in Dog in the Fight was longer than what showed up on the screen.
I watched your video about how I saw the other cuts that you shot different versions of it. That was really interesting.
Yeah,
it's kind of frustrating because I'm a big fan of fights, screen fights and choreography and all that, and so we shot this thing, and then when I went to go do the voiceover, put in my grunts and my lines and whatever, I was like, oh, it's shorter than I thought it was, and the way they cut it is really quick cuts, and that's the Netflix style. And John told me, he goes, yeah, it was a really cool fight, but it was too long, and we had to cut it. Netflix is very like, hey, we want it a certain way. We want it to flow a certain way, because it not only has to make sense within the scene, it has to make sense within the context of the rest of the episode, which has to make sense in context of the entire series.
And unfortunately, Daniel has to win because he's
Karate Kid.
Even though you could beat him up very easily.
Yeah.
My job is to make the star look good and for him not to get hurt, and I was very successful in that regards, because Daniel LaRusso looked like he should have been in an action movie in that particular scene.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, if you ever talk to Ralph, that might be my favorite Daniel scene I've ever seen. Like, as a fan of someone who is very critical from the martial arts aspect of things, I think they always make Billy look good. And I think sometimes Daniel as an adult comes off a little stiff because he's relying on more the kata style of his fighting. And it looks good, but when you have some of these real altercations, you would think, at your stage, someone who is coming off as after Miyagi's legacy, Daniel is considered, a teacher, and teachers have a lot of experience and a lot of training. And sometimes it hasn't always looked like that he was the master of all these different techniques. And that's why I really appreciated. And I know, have you watched all of the 6th season by yourself, or you just watched bits and pieces whenever you guys were filming?
I have not watched every episode of season 6 yet.
Okay.
Just because I got busy with some other things.
Right. No, that makes sense. I just was wondering because there's this scene where Johnny and the new sensei, Wolf, played by Louis Tan, who's another great martial artist.
Yeah.
And he's laying into Johnny, and then Daniel jumps in, and Daniel has fought Silver, he's fought Kreese, he's fought all these different people, but they bring in this new sensei, and you can see Daniel sweating from this guy. The moment he comes in, you're like, wow, Daniel could actually lose this. You have this cool team up, and you're like, wow, that's kind of crazy. That just blew my mind when I saw that. I was like, what? How is this happening?
Well, Ralph's been playing Daniel LaRusso for a long time now, especially after Cobra Kai.
Absolutely.
When we all have stunt doubles to do
Yeah.
dangerous stuff, and both of us have stunt doubles who will run the entire fight as well. In Dog in the Fight, I did most of the fight, and then my stunt double for that episode, Freddie Poole, he did the table smash and a few other things. And
It looks so cool.
Daniel Ralph has a stunt double named Craig Henningsen, who is his regular stunt double, and they do a pretty good job of kind of, mixing it. I think what they try to do is they have a stunt double in case one of us gets hurt, and then they want to make sure they have enough coverage so they don't have to shut down production. So
yeah, for sure.
That's how they do that. And the other thing is that they the fighting was more gritty. In this one, it was
I
more
love
like
that.
a street fight because we're in close and we're doing knees, and that's my specialty. That's what I like.
Was that cool to see that? Like to be when you found out you were doing the fight like that? Was that something that you weren't expecting? Like,
yeah, that was fun. I like that's my particular favorite type of fighting is when it looks like there's a street fight going on, and it's down and dirty, and it's not gritty. It's not pretty, but it's gritty. That's like my forte, and Ralph was excited about that too. So, he.
I mean, they made Ralph look like a badass. Yeah, I think that's great. I think that's so cool. Like that, how Daniel, when you guys were doing the fight, Ralph made Ralph look so good. Moves. Doing all did you notice how he made all the moves from each of his wins in the original trilogy? I thought that was so cool.
Yeah,
like how each of his opponents. He's beating you with each of the moves that he won in all his previous fights.
Yep,
in the Karate Kid films. That was
by
cool.
design. And I think the other disappointment I have, if I'm being completely honest, is that I think dramatically it would have worked maybe a little bit better if Daniel was losing up until that moment where the tattoo was revealed.
That would have been cool.
And then he does the turn, and then all of a sudden he's turning it around. It was as the script said, when I first got the script, it said, that my character and Daniel are pretty much even in terms of their skill.
Yeah.
And it obviously Dennis got to do more than I did in Karate Kid 3. And it was like, oh, he put up a pretty good fight. And, I got to do a few more things, a spinning kick and whatnot. But I think just dramatically, it might have been more like, oh, man, Daniel's getting beat up here. Who's this dude? First of all, because nobody knows it's Dennis from Karate Kid 3. I mean, the people like yourself,
kind of did.
What's that?
Joe and I kind of actually knew before.
Well, you guys are in the in the minority. I think a lot of people were like, "Who the hell's this dude?"
Yeah.
Now, speaking of which, you talked about how they drew up like a scenario of Dennis and Mike Barnes fighting.
Yeah.
So, and just in your own opinion, what if Mike found out that it was Dennis who burned down that store, who burned down his furniture store? Like, how do you think a fight between Dennis and Mike would actually go?
Well, I think in terms of like Dennis as a character, so far he hasn't really shown that he's been able to beat anybody.
That's true.
But he worked with Mike, though. I mean, he trained with Mike, so he knows Mike's moves too.
I think Dennis relies on sneakiness and cheating and fire and things like that.
Kidnapping too.
I honestly think that Mike Barnes would just, wreck him because, he would be
Karate's bad boy.
Yeah, but just being, knowing that he burned down his business, I
would really bring out
I also
the rage.
think if Dennis de Guzman somehow got off that boat at the end, like he smelled the gas and he woke up, he wasn't dead, and he kind of went, oh hell no, I'm out of here. And let's say he jumped and swam to shore, I think he might be reconsidering some of his life choices at that point. And I don't necessarily know if he'd want to go after Johnny and his family, because listen, you go after someone's family, you better be prepared, because I think Johnny, not only Johnny, I think Chosen would have jumped in and Daniel would have jumped in, and they would have wrecked de Guzman. So
Yeah.
I can't lie.
If I'm being
I
honest.
would have loved to see you fight Chosen. Like I would have loved to see
Yeah,
that.
that would have been
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Actually, I would love to see you fight Johnny.
Mhm.
I never got a chance to do that. I would love to. I would have loved to have fought Chosen. And
Yeah.
here's what I'm hoping is, I'm friends with, like, Brendan H. Lee lives in LA. He and I are good friends, and Ron Thomas and I, and Daryl Vidal, and then Brian Takahashi. Those are like the four guys that I've met in the cast that I could actually hang out with. And it's nothing against anyone else. It's just that Yuji lives in Seattle, Washington, so that's kind of tough.
Right.
He's always been good to me, and it might be cool to do a different project where it's like we bring in a lot of these guys who are actually legitimate martial artists, and we stage a bunch of fights between us. And it's kind of like, these are the fights you never got to see. And it's like, we don't call it Cobra Kai or anything like that, but it's like, oh wow, we got this matchup that you never got to see in the series, but we're giving it to the fans.
If you guys do that, I would love to see that. I think that would be incredible. Like if you could pull like all the people that are actually like really good like martial artists, but that didn't get their chance to shine, that would be so cool to see what you guys could do.
Believe it or not, I actually would have liked to see. Okay, I know this is kind of a bit out there, but I actually kind of would like to see what Dennis would have done, like with Master Kim. Like that would have been a pretty intense fight. And this also kind of leads me to my next question. Okay, so we all know that Dennis did not go through with the plan because Kreese stopped him on that yacht.
Sure.
So my question is, let's say Kreese never caught wind of what Silver might have been planning. Let's say he wasn't on that boat.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that Dennis did follow through with did follow Silver's orders, and he got hold of Carmen and the baby to intimidate Johnny, to throw him off. My question is, what would have happened to Carmen and the baby if Johnny, let's say if Johnny won the fight against Wolf? Would he have hurt Carmen and the baby, Dennis?
You know what? Dennis is not a good person. He's the guy who's willing to do all the dirty work. However, because of the line where I say furniture stores are one thing, you sure you want to go there? That was a hint that I'm not really into hurting kids and women,
right.
I think that's where he might have drawn the line. And even though he says, do this for me, I think he was like, okay, but I think at the end of the day, Dennis is, I think that he may not have been able to go through it, hurt them anyways, maybe threaten them, maybe that, as far as that goes. But I think that might have been he'll do a lot of stuff, I believe he's killed, he's smuggled, he's assaulted, he's obviously kidnapped, he's a bad man, and bad men often meet their early demise. But I think that's probably where
no matter what Silver promised him, I
think he would have considered it, but I think when push comes to shove, and then when he's actually like, it's time to do something, I think he would have been like, that's why if Dennis somehow escaped from the explosion, let's say he wasn't dead, I think once Silver is gone, it's like, well, that kind of relieves me of anything I promised, and I don't think he would have gone after Johnny or.
You did survive. What would have been the thing that you think that Dennis would have done now? Like, did he just go off and continue to smuggle and do different crimes, or like, what would be his next thing?
I think he tried to go back to Spain. He seemed to have like a base of operations there. He had some dudes that worked for him. The guys that. Actually, Daniel beat up when he escaped from the cage. Those guys worked for Guzman, So I think he probably would have probably headed back there and maybe tried to be the kingpin. So
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
that was my other question about that. So I was super, as a fan of the character, and very excited about all these long-awaited returns. When they came up with the decision, like, obviously I know the villain has to meet his demise, all these sort of things, but the choice of, like, when Kreese is on the boat, right, and you can hear, like, after you are talking to Silver and you go off to go, go after Carmen and the kid, or you're going to get ready to do it after the conversation, and you just hear, like, the sudden, like, neck snap, and you're just like, to have you killed off screen, just, I don't know, it didn't sit right with me.
Well, that was here's my running joke that I've had for many years before the return of De Guzman on Cobra Kai. I've always felt that I was the Boba Fett of the Karate Kid universe, where it's like I'm kind of built up as this badass, and then all of a sudden I'm eaten by the sandworm. I was in the Sarlacc pit.
Knocked
That's a good way to look at it, actually.
Tables and
then at the end, it's kind of like, when Boba Fett does return, which was badass in Mandalorian season 2, and then at the very end where it's him sitting on the throne with Fennec Shan, and I was like, well, that's cool. He's now he rules the underworld. And I think they should have left it at that and left it up to our own imagination, because
that's freaking cool that you're a Star Wars guy. I never would have taken you for a Star Wars guy. That's pretty cool.
Well, Star Wars was the first movie I saw in a theater in 1977, and it wasn't even called Episode 4 then. It was just called Star Wars, And so I was there sort of at the beginning, and I became a fan then. I loved Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, not as much, but looking back at it now, I was like, what's the works,
Yeah.
And I have this love-hate relationship with Star Wars, because
I don't blame you.
Yeah, me too.
some of it, listen, when it's good, it's great, right? And there are certain characters, it's like, oh man, and then they kind of drop the ball on a lot of stuff, because look, I loved Obi-Wan, I loved Ahsoka Tano, I loved Darth Maul, I love Boba Fett's my favorite, I loved Han Solo, and it's like all of these my favorite characters. It just seemed like, guys, what happened? We had a good thing, and you know what I mean. So I'm not a hater. A lot of people
we don't consider this haters. We're passionate fans.
Yeah, there's so you can kind of pick and choose of there's so much Star Wars that there's like, oh, maybe this didn't work out, but this was good, but I want it all to be great, right?
I'm
still mad about Luke Skywalker. I think the way they treated Luke Skywalker is still not okay.
Are you talking about when he came back in season 2 at the end of the Mandalorian?
No, I'm talking about the sequels, like when they did the movies, when they had older Luke and the way that they told his story. Because
The Last Jedi.
From the way that George Lucas wrote things, Luke is supposed to always be this hopeful character, and like, look, you can make Luke broken and make it make sense, and it will be fine. But they didn't make it work.
Yeah, it was just like, let's be different to be different, I feel, but. The Last Jedi is the there aren't too many people out there, I think, that like that movie.
I mean, I'll be honest though, when I did see Luke at the end of Mandalorian, I did nearly shit my pants when I saw him show up the way he did.
There were a lot of people who were kind of tearing up at that moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's magical, man.
I mean, I'm not as knowledgeable as some of the fans. I just grew up with it, and then like I've watched what I watched. I like what I like. I like Star Trek too, but I like like Strange New Worlds. I think is a great series that sort of captures what Star Trek should be. You know what I mean?
It's funny that you say that, because with me, I sort of have a love-hate relationship with Star Wars as well. There are times where I love it, but there are times where I just I don't love it. And I mean, I hate to say this, but there are certain companies that just really look at it as a cash grab, and and unfortunately it shows. And I'm just, that kind of like gets put off on that kind of like puts me off. And I was like,
unfortunately, I built my whole channel around Star Wars at first, and I was really excited about it because it's been a big part of my life. I have a Darth Vader tattoo on my arm. I'm a big Star Wars guy, but it's like been rooted through my family. But I had to make a choice at one time, because you have to decide as a content creator. For me, some of these people are making their money and they're talking about the positive and the negative. You can only talk about so much negative before it gets draining and ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to be one of those people that's making money off me screaming like a little kid, teenager every single time just because I'm not happy the way things are going.
Yeah.
I'd rather be. I mean, we're adults here. We want to be positive about the things that we love. So I decided to go more the direction of, okay, I'm a martial arts fan in general. I'm going to focus on the martial arts stuff, and I'm going to focus on movies in general and look at like franchises I do like. Like I love Marvel when it's good, but Marvel's kind of got that same problem of like when they're good, they're really good, and then when they're not so good, it's not so good. But DC's really starting to gain momentum and get me back into it. That's really making me happy. Like I don't know where you are. Like, did you grow up reading comic books? Are you a superhero guy or like what?
You know, my father would give me these big things called Marvel Treasury Editions. You know, and I had DC and I had Marvel, big like they were big, oversized, right? Big print, big pictures, because he wanted to encourage me to read. So I grew up on Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, Thor, Batman. You know, those are like the main ones, and you know, the Hulk. So you know, and when I was in high school, that's when the John Byrne X-Men came out, and so I was really into Wolverine and you know that whole thing, and I still am. And you know, when Marvel, you know, when the technology finally was available to make these fantastic MCU movies, you know, it's like I would never thought I would see an Avengers movie that wasn't hokey, and they did some great stuff. And then it just like it was almost like, okay, let's pump out some more, you know, and sometimes you know, less is more, right? I'd rather see fewer things but make them good rather than have you know.
That's why I like I like the business model with like James Gunn running DC right now, because he's like, okay, let's just make more quality projects and let's hope that this turns out good. Because then you're like, okay, you're releasing some things and you're like, okay, that's really good. We're taking our time releasing these projects, and let's hope that they're really good projects and taking the time to make the scripts. Because I mean, Marvel's sitting here like, hey, look, we did this. We said we're going to do this Blade movie. We don't have a script. Oh, we got a script. It's not good. Okay.
Yeah. See, for me, less is. I agree. Less is more, and I'm also a person like that has like a wide variety of things. Even though Cobra Kai has kind of like become like my main thing. Because I'm such a huge fan of Ralph and you know, and Billy and Pat Morita. But I'm a fan of Disney. Like I'm kind of like the Disney queen in a sense, as my family kind of like calls me, because we go to Disney so often, and I love the movies and all the movies. Like I grew up like my favorite Disney movie is Aladdin, but I've also like with DC and Marvel, like my two favorite heroes for respectively from both are Daredevil and Spider-Man from Marvel, and for DC, Superman and Batman. And I grew up watching Smallville, and I also watched the original movie, the original Superman movies. Yeah. With and I just and I know this sounds it's a little bit strange, but when I saw Karate Kid Legends, my main thing was like, you know, I wanted to, like, the biggest reason why I wanted to see it was because I had never seen Ralph as Daniel on the big screen, because Karate Kid was way before my time. And when I heard he was going to be in it, it's like, okay, I'm going to check this movie out because I've never seen Ralph as Daniel. And I feel like in that movie, and I mean, it was a good movie, but I feel like they had like they didn't do what you basically said, where the less is more. They added so much action, but they didn't add like what makes the Karate Kid the Karate Kid. And oh, we just lost Joe. The Karate Kid, you know, and that was his relationship with Mr. Miyagi, his sensei, you know, and like that was the foundation that's what really brought the film to life. That's what made it so successful.
Mm.
And I feel like they didn't have that in Karate Kid Legends. I feel like they focused too much on the karate and not enough on where it should have been, should have been.
I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it. I just haven't gotten around to it.
I mean, it's a good movie, but it missed a lot of the focal points of like what really made the Karate Kid what it is.
It lacks the heart. Like there's some good action, but it lacks the heart. Like it doesn't.
I've heard it's kind of been rushed a little bit. It was rushed out to kind of catch the wind of the season finale of Cobra Kai.
It lacks
kind of too bad that because of that,
it lacks the heart.
It is too bad that because of that they promoted so much Ralph being in it, and then he's not in it that much. So it's kind of too bad that like because of circumstances they promoted that he was in a lot of it, and then he's not really in that much.
Yeah.
But
hey, I wanted to ask you too. I have enjoyed this time immensely, and I was wondering if we could pick it back up again on another day where I could spend another 2 hours with you.
Absolutely.
It seems like we have a lot to talk about, and I'm a little bit out of time right now. I have to get going.
Okay.
But I would love to be able to pick this up again when it's convenient for both of you, and maybe we'll
absolutely.
Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. Would love to.
Actually, I was gonna ask. Actually, believe it or not, I was gonna ask you. Is like, do you do like a video calls like on Instagram or?
I mean, we could do something like that. Sure.
I mean, if you're not comfortable with that,
I mean, whatever you want to do, we can do something more personal between just us if you want, or we can do something where it's for the world to see. It's up to you. Whatever you feel works.
Yeah, I'm open. Let's look at what what we can do, and we'll do something again. But I wanted to let you know I thoroughly enjoyed my time here, and you guys, we had a very good conversation, as I like to say. So
absolutely.
I don't
welcome
like
anytime. I really
I like to have conversations.
We'll definitely figure something out. I definitely would love to.
I mean, the only reason why I was asking William is just because I kind of since we started talking, I was like I kind of view you as like my sensei, and I kind of would like to talk to somebody like you if whenever you're available. And when you are available, just because I could always use the guidance, and someone like you, it would really. I would consider it I would consider it an honor.
Is there a certain day that works best for you? Like, is there?
Yeah. Well, typically Sundays and Saturday evenings. That tends to work best for me.
Both are available. Both are good days for me.
Okay.
Yeah, those work good for me. So I work. So right now, my time it's 8:00 right now. I work till 5:30 on Sundays, and then Sundays are kind of like my weekend because I don't work the next 2 days, so it's like So that's you actually gave me a lot of great insight.
Yeah, me too.
I kind of want to do a video now after we get done talking about how because the idea that you mentioned, I didn't know that you guys had ever talked about like a Mike versus Dennis. So that's really cool. So I kind of want to credit you and make something like, what would this look like? Like, how would this come about? Because I had no idea that was such a cool. I love this. Like, that was such cool insight. I'm excited to hear more from your stories and more your side of things. And
yeah, me too.
Hopefully, you and I can trade some more karate stories. Like, talk about our favorite moves and what things have kind of inspired us. Like. Stuff like that, I think is really cool.
You've also given me a lot of insight, a lot of on terms of karate and how it really how what the moves are really based on, and how everything can be karate. You've kind of given that new meaning, and with Okinawa and things like that is I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of that place, just from what I've seen of it in Cobra Kai and the Karate Kid too. So it's
Yeah,
like
I
I've
think
always wanted
you'd
to.
like it.
Yeah, I've always wanted to have a better understanding, and like with you, you've kind of like opened up my like insight on it. Like there's always, I mean, is it true like what they say is like there's always a story there. Like there's always history there, you know, like that you didn't like really know.
I believe that. I do believe that.
I was
Like
also wondering, for you, because you have like obviously you have Cobra Kai and Karate Kid, but like, is there any of your films or like other movies that you've been a part of that you would recommend that like us
yeah.
checking out that like you have some good action scenes in or a different part to like you playing a different character?
I was in a movie called Killer X. I'll send you guys the link to that. I think you can see that
Yeah.
on Hulu. No, on Tubi.
Okay,
But I
cool.
play the bad guy in that. So I'll
'Cause
send
I'll
you guys the
watch it
information on Instagram, and then you guys can check that out. But I
because
have
I'll
a pretty
watch it
good
and
role in that.
I'll watch it and I'll review it
Definitely.
because I'm very
Yeah,
interested to see what kind of other
me
stuff
too.
that you've made. So
Yeah,
Cool.
me
and
too.
and like before you go, one of my
Yeah.
last questions for you is after like we talked about the whole Marvel, DC, all these other things with your skills and also being an actor. Now that you're basically pretty much you might do something different with other martial artists and stuff. But if you like after like obviously not an actor doesn't pick their projects, but if you could pick the next thing you got to be like maybe another big franchise, is there another franchise that you would consider like joining that interests you like from that you would think would be fun like from the martial arts side of it or from the acting side, just something you want to act in differently?
I'd like to be in one of the Batman movies. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Who do you think you could play? Do you think you'd just be like a random thug, or you think they'd make a cool character for you?
I'd probably end up playing a villain of some sort, and hopefully one that fights well.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
I have a actually this is my last question to you too, because I mean we don't want
Until
to
we talk next time, yeah.
Yeah, until we talk next time. If you could pick any place in the world that you could do, maybe do a Karate Kid, I mean, sorry, not Karate in, like a karate movie or a karate TV show in, like any place in the world, even if it's one you've been to, like, where would you pick it at the, where would you go?
Oh, it would be Okinawa.
It would. I had a feeling you might say that. I mean,
Yeah.
I just with me, I feel like there's so much story there. And when I say story, I just mean like there's so much you discover there about yourself. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I mean, am I wrong? Or I mean,
Okinawa has a charm, and it can be a magical place, and the people are very warm. So
That's
I
amazing.
think you'll have a good time there.
yeah.
But I do have to go. We will do
Okay.
this again.
Thank
I
you.
promise you. And
Yes.
Yes.
leave your mailing addresses in my Instagram. DM me them because
Oh,
I
definitely.
might be able to send you a couple of goodies. Okay.
Definitely. And thank you. I appreciate you also responding to me and accepting me on Instagram to follow you. That and again and also again responding when I asked you if you did video calls. Because I didn't know how any other way to ask that. I didn't want to make you feel uncomfortable or anything like
Oh
that.
no, not at all. I like to have conversations with good people. So
Okay. Well, you're
yeah.
good. You're a good person too. So
Well, thank you.
I think yours probably as good as it gets.
I appreciate that. I'm
Yeah.
trying, and I'm trying to be like you guys. So we'll leave it at that.
Well, we're trying to be like you.
So thank you. Listen, to all your viewers, thank you very much, Joe. Well, we lost him again.
Yeah.
But Melissa, thank you so much. I will talk to you very soon.
Thank you too. Yep.
Okay.
Me too. All right.
Take care.
Bye. You too. I guess we lost Joe again. I hope he comes back. I hope. I don't know if this is the end. Thanks, Beyond the Kai. Also, guys in the chat, I know Howie didn't kind of didn't get a chance to pull up your questions, but I hope you were able to find answers in the interview, because I noticed how he did answer your question, Cecile, about his own stunts, and I know he answered your questions, Beyond the Kai. Yeah, well, I guess I'm the only host right now until Joe comes back, which I'm hoping that he does. I'm hoping he comes back. But it was a fantastic interview, and William's an amazing person. But he's so kind and so pure and honest, and I think we all got a chance to see that today. Yeah, and I'm hoping Beyond the Kai. I'm hoping that in the interview that we were able to answer it. He is very generous. Yeah, so this is the first time I've actually shown my face. I wanted William to see it. It's so to make a good. It's always a good impression when they can see you. When you can see the person that you're talking to, the person behind the voice. Yeah, Beyond the Kai, no worries. No worries. It's like I've always said, life exists outside of this dojo. So we all understand. We've all been there. I know I for sure have been busy because, as I told you, I just moved into my new place. So I'm hoping Joe comes back. Let me see if I can message him. I mean, he didn't end the stream, so if he doesn't come back within the next 10 minutes, we'll call it a night. I think he said something earlier where he was having trouble with his computer. It crashed on him. So any questions you guys want to ask me? Yeah, I just did. I just did CVO. See if he answers back. See if he's able to answer back. Well, listen, if Joe's computer at least crashed, at least it crashed at the end. That would have sucked if it. That would have sucked if it would have if it crashed right in the middle and he wasn't able to get back on. That would have been awful. Cecile, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, depending on how you look at it, I think it's a strong possibility that Karate Kid Legends will get a sequel. But if they do, they need to rewatch the Karate Kid films. I'm sorry, they need to do that. They need to remember what makes the Karate Kid The Karate Kid. Like, what makes it memorable? It's not the karate, it's the heart. I think they need to remember that. Yeah, I would love to. Joe and I would love to have a conversation with Mary Mauser or Tanner or Zolo. All of those are definite want. Oh, yep. I would love to have an interview with Mary or Zolo or Tanner. Yeah, I think so. I think any conversation with any of them would be peak. And it's like William said, Mary is a very, very nice person, even in, even off camera. And so is Tanner, and it would be, all right. Bye, Mr. Rod. It's great. Thank you for stopping by. But yeah, I think that I would love to have a conversation with either one of them. I think that would be like a dream come true for me, and I know it would be a dream come true for Joe. That would be awesome. Because it's one thing to connect to the characters, but it's another thing to connect to the person behind the character. Oh, here's Joe right now.
Sorry, my phone died, but he
That's
left.
okay. That's okay. We were just talking. Well, right now it's just gonna be William. Beyond the Kai.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
But I was answering CVO's question about like when he said a Mary and Melissa conversation would be peak, and I was like, I think so too.
We talked with William through Instagram, but email is a possibility in the future when we get to know more of the cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're hoping to get to do more.
Yeah.
That's a big hope of ours.
But I was just saying it's one thing to connect to the character, but it's another thing to connect to the person that's behind the character.
I'm just super thrilled that he wants to have more conversations with us.
Yeah, me too.
With the I know like he doesn't think of himself as a celebrity, but to us he's like a legend, and so like hearing
that I'm so
to have the conversations with us, and like even the things that we talked about, like I know more about him than I knew previously, and it's amazing. Yeah,
no, me too. I'm honored. I'm honored that he's so open about doing another live stream, and I'm even more honored that when I asked him about how he feels about the video call, like video calls, whether or not if I would be, my being able to talk to him through a video call, that he said he would be fine with that.
Yeah, whatever he's open to, like yeah, doing live streams and stuff is great, but whatever he's open to, I think is amazing. Yeah, yes, we didn't get every topic we wanted to talk about because
we didn't, but that happens.
But he answered a few of our questions, and I really liked his answers.
Yeah, me too.
The thing that I'm blown away by is I have some work to do tonight because he gave me multiple ideas for things I want to talk about now and make it content. Like one, I had no idea that a lot of our issues that we don't get to see certain things are because Netflix is such a strict budget.
Yeah.
Like Cobra Kai. And like and the fact that a budget is the reason why we didn't get to see Mike and Dennis fight. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like and then like it's interesting hearing his take on like how he really wanted the longer fight, but Netflix is like, oh well, this is how we shoot things, and it's like, I really liked that.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
I told you, sometimes you find things that you don't know what's going.
It's like like a Cobra Kai actor, so like hearing him talk about his other passions, like when we're talking like things like Star Wars, he knows what we're talking about. When we're talking like Marvel and DC, I asked him about other roles he wants to play, and he's like, oh, I want to be a villain in Batman. Like that's something that's worth making into a video. Now my head's like reeling, what kind of villain should he play? Like the fact his answer is, oh, I want to be able to fight. I want to be able to be a good fighter. Like that's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like I told you, Joe. It's like you don't know what goes on behind the scenes. We just know what we're being told on camera.
About the Martin situation with him.
What?
I said I don't even care that we didn't talk about the Martin situation.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
So I was having just fun. Just our vibe was great.
Yeah.
And did you notice who didn't show up to ruin our vibe, which is fantastic?
Great. Yep, Silver.
Yeah. It would have been funny though because you had Dennis, Silver, Dennis.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he wasn't here. It was a real blessing, and this was a really true moment. Did William say anything? Did you tell him that my phone died, or what did you tell him when he had to?
Well, I mean, I didn't know like what the problem was. So I just said, I was like, oh, I guess we lost Joe. Again, hopefully he'll be back. But he had to go. So
I'll send him a private message on Instagram and say that my phone died. I'm sorry about that, and just apologize.
Yeah.
Doesn't think that I left on purpose or something.
But this was like, and I really felt like I could, like, I was really, I was really open with them, I really feel like
you were very vulnerable with him, and I thought that it was really, really special.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I mean, and like, I really like, because I don't tell a lot of people that, like,
I haven't watched it yet, Retrolad. I haven't watched it yet.
I know you
Hey,
know
Talk
this.
Watch. Yeah, I agree with that. We should have gotten. Ooh, that's a good video idea. Would Cobra Kai been different as an HBO show than on Netflix?
Yeah,
that's a good video idea, actually.
That is, but I also too like when I know you guys know this, and I know I've said this a lot, but it's like
Chosen
about Miguel being my number one favorite character. But I always feel like I'm coming to Mary and Sam's, Mary Sam's defense, and when I said to William, like, I know Mary says that Sam has become a part of her, but I feel like with me, it seems like Mary has become a part of Sam instead of like more rather than just the other way around. And it was like he understood that because not a lot of people would understand that.
Yeah, I didn't watch it yet, Retrolad. Yeah, I love what you said. I invited some other friends to come in and join us since we're just talking now. Melissa. So
okay.
I sent the link to the Legion's chat if you guys want to come chat with us.
But I love how he understood that, you know what I mean? Because not a lot of people would.
Yeah, no, I sent it to you, Chosen, in the Legions. He's this here. Yeah, here's Chosen.
What were we gonna say, Joe?
Oh, I was just saying I sent. Hey, Chosen.
Hey.
Yeah, I was just saying we sent it to everyone because I just really loved how that was really cool that you were so open and vulnerable with him, and this is exactly what I was talking about, Melissa. We treat even people that are viewed as small celebrities, we treat everyone equally and like they want to be people, and then we get treated like people.
That's
and the fact that I'd like to be in the video call with William. We'll see Underground if we do that.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll take it one step.
Our options are still open. I'm not against doing another video. I'm not against doing another stream live. I'm also not against a video call and making it more personal.
Yeah, and me too. And I have this question. I mean, since he kind of like, I mean, he said this on his own. He's like he's met Mary about her and have said that she's a nice person, which he basically confirmed that Mary is as nice as she is on camera, as well as off camera. So he confirmed that, and I have to wonder if he does have like her. Like a way to contact her through Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, we could always ask him if it's possible to send, maybe he could just tell Mary, hey, I met these really amazing people. They'd love to interview you sometime. Like, that'd be cool.
I don't want to overstep or make him feel like we're taking advantage because I don't want him to think we're those.
Yeah, because the way that you felt like when he said he's had people have conversations like that. So if it comes up in conversation, we could just ask if it was possible.
Yeah.
And just not put pressure on it. Just be like, is there any way, like, because you and I you were very vocal about how you really want to speak to her because of the fact of how much you're a fan of her and how much you stick up for the things that she's dealing with every day.
That is true.
Yeah.
Check Legion's chat. You sent something? 1 second. I'll check.
Yeah, she's I love Miguel. He's my number one favorite character, but I always feel like I'm always I'll defend Sam's character, and she's the character that I will fight for.
Renee, that's you, That's good. It's actually good. That's actually pretty good because me personally, if someone's gonna hate on, you guys know I'm a Robbie fan, right? If anyone goes after Robbie, I'm gonna fight for him. I'm gonna defend him no matter what.
Yeah, I saw that, Retrolad. That's pretty cool.
Exactly. And it's the same thing like with Miguel. I'll fight for Miguel. I'll fight for Miguel. Or I'll fight for Zolo. And where Sam is concerned, I'll fight for Mary, for Mary, for both. I'll fight for both Solo and Miguel and Mary and Sam.
Yeah, we'll always stand up for those people no matter what.
Oh my God!
Thank God, at least he showed up after the interview.
Thank you.
Let me get rid of this chump.
First of all, buddy, that comment. I'm sorry. That comment. I'm sorry. Every time someone says Mary ate too much cupcakes, I just feel like that makes no sense to me.
They need to take a good look at the mirror and shut up.
Like that makes no sense. And actually, by the way, I did see.
Their body's so
we're not gonna let you guys kill our vibe. We're in a really great mood. This was a really great, astounding interview, and I hope everyone liked it as much as I did. And we're gonna do many more stuff like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would love it if my channel just became if eventually all these people just come and want to interview. I would love to be. If that was my job, to just go across the world and interview people. I love interviewing people, just talking to people about things and just. It'd be so fun.
Yeah.
I want to do more interviews like this more often because I think it's really fun.
Definitely.
Really fun.
And for those who body shame Mary, take a good look in the mirror because your body is not perfect either. Your body is not. And Mary, as far as I'm concerned, Mary is beautiful the way that she is. Her body is her
and
body.
And she works hard, so I don't know why people have to.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually, Joe. That's a good point. I don't get why. It makes no sense to me because that's true. And also by the way, I did.
Have anyone seen her video? She works out. Seriously, she does karate for hours.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I don't care what anyone says. Any girl in Cobra Kai, season 6, part 3, Mary, 100%. 100%.
All of them.
She was She was the best. That cake when she was working out with Tori. Oh man.
Yeah.
Bro, sorry, John. Sorry.
You know I'll be saying it, John. I'm not afraid.
This is why it's not hard to believe that when Hayden answered that question in Q&A about who he considers to be the best fighters out of these three, Tori, Zara, and Sam, and he answered Sam. That's why that's not hard for me to believe, because Mary, she does her. I think she does her own stunts.
Oh yeah.
She's gotten that good. she's gotten that amazing where she doesn't need, like, we're like William, she doesn't even rely on stunt doubles anymore.
Man, I just think I think it's mostly for William's sake because of his age. Like I think because anybody can get hurt at any given moment, but
Right.
and Mary's still young, so she can get away with a lot more stuff. I just wonder. I'm so excited to continue talking to William because, man, I can't believe that he freaking likes DC and that he wants to fight Batman. That image is just burned into my brain now. Could you imagine, Chosen, if William ends up being like one of the members of the Court of Owls in the Batman 2 or some shit?
Yeah. I wonder if he'd actually, believe it or not, I think if you were
I'm
to
gonna
show
ask
up
him a
like in
question. When we
yeah.
talk privately, I'm gonna ask him a question because I'm very curious now if he'd do it because he was talking about doing a project with those other martial arts characters, right?
Get
I'm gonna
lost.
remove this loser. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Actually, she does.
I was wondering, do you guys think, like, because I mentioned to him that I want to make movies, right? William seems very reasonable. I wonder, because you guys know Star Wars Theory, right? Star Wars Theory became friends with Nick Gillard, who choreographs the fights, right?
Yeah.
What if I was able, when we build a friendship with William, what if I was able to delay Cobra Empire more and make it where me and William could maybe, like, I could fly out there and we could work together and make something cool? That'd be really cool.
That would be awesome.
I wonder if he'd be interested in that.
That kind of leads me to a question. We know who said that he would fight, like he wishes if he were in DC, he'd fight Batman. I wonder if he were ever in Superman. I wonder if he would ever like be considered like the Lex Luthor in that.
Yeah,
movie.
I mean, he likes playing villains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or paying him money then? I mean, yeah, I can pay money. I have money, Rachel.
Wait.
If you want some total commission, I can pay.
Wait, Joe. You know something else too. I wonder if he would ever actually consider being like Professor Fine, like before he became Brainiac.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, it's just cool that he's passionate about those things. He even talked about Star Wars and Star Trek.
Yeah.
I just really was impressed. And he said he's going to send us that link to that movie. So
yeah.
I'm excited about that. You should do a fan fiction movie with William Christopher Ford. Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome. I would be down for that.
Bro, and also, by the way, William even said earlier in the stream that made me so happy. The fact that he's good friends with Brandon and Lee just made me happy.
Well, he wants to do more martial arts stuff with him, too. So yeah,
I love that, bro. That makes me happy because Brandon Lee is such a W person. Like,
I mean, you hear how he really does feel like that. He thinks that some of these martial arts actors get the short end of the stick, and he wants them to be able to do fun martial arts together and do something cool. I can't wait to see what they cook up with all of them working together.
You know, it's crazy to me because I heard a few actors, and I want to bring up Tanner too because, some of these martial artists, they you know how when people ask them questions, right, Joe?
Yeah.
And they're like the best person to fight, and Brandon was the first one who said this. His favorite person to fight was Tanner because Robbie, Robbie's a crazy fighter, And then William, I think William even said at some point that Robbie's a good fighter too. Tanner's really good.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
And the guy who plays Daryl, the guy who plays Vidal, the ref Vidal.
Yeah.
He even said that Tanner's a great fighter in Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I mean that's cool, man. I think that's awesome that he says all those things about all those great people.
Freaking love Tanner, bro. Tanner's the GOAT, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Well,
I mean that's
let
so
me put it this way: Mary and Tanner are both the married goats.
Yeah,
I see what you did there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Check Legions again. You sent something else?
I mean, yeah, I did see Mary's latest TikTok because I know she posted a TikTok yesterday about something. I didn't see the full video, but I did see something about it.
Yeah, I did too. She asked like a question. I think she's like in a bet with Tanner about the colors of how we see certain subjects, like what kind of color that we see them in on our own.
Was it about the Mortal Kombat thing, Retrolad? I checked that already.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
On different subjects. I answered she posted on Instagram too. I answered it. I don't know. Don't know if we'll ever find out the results.
I wonder
but
who's going to be. Oh, I'm excited, man. That's good news, Retrolad. I would love to get Sean, man. It would be awesome to meet.
Yeah,
Sean
that would
King.
be incredible. That would be amazing.
I mean, who knows? The sky's the limit at this point, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that William Christopher Ford wants to talk to us again,
Yeah.
is incredible. So
Yeah.
we're gonna take these little victories as they come, and
Listen, we're gonna take these little victories and put them as miracles.
Like, I really did not expect him to say, yeah, could we talk about this some more? And like, oh, you want to talk? Like, the fact he wants to, like, obviously, yeah, things happen in life, busy schedules, whatever. But like, the fact he wanted to say he wanted more,
yeah,
is just crazy to me. I am incredibly blessed to hear that. Guys, relax. He just interviewed William. If he's interviewed the whole cast, it'd be amazing. But at the moment, chill. Thanks for saying that.
We'll take it one step at a time.
Yeah,
but
we're
I will
all
say
being
this,
realistic.
Joe, I will say this, Joe, for all your interviews, be sure to have me on because I would love to.
Yeah, I like having you here as long as there's a reason for you to be here.
You know,
I mean, it's important for me sometimes to interview people one-on-one because certain interviews are going to be something that's more important to just have two people that are like I thought this was special because you helped set it up, and with Cobra Kai actors because your passion, I think it's important for you to be there. But there's going to come one day where it's just got to be me sometimes.
Here's the thing, Joe.
Just like Drake said, started from the bottom, now we're here.
Here's the thing, Joe. If you're gonna have these interviews, the only interview I'll probably join, because you know how much I'm a big fan of this one actor, or two actors actually, Tanner and Brandon. If he introduced those two, I'm gonna join those streams because I want to talk to Tanner and Brandon. Those two specifically.
Oh, my face would be crazy, man. I would love to interview Charlie. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, definitely chosen. I mean, the biggest thing is these free interviews have to be treated professionally. So
yeah,
if you were to be a part of that, you need to really be professional because this is a real thing, man. These people really, we need to talk to them like individuals, and we need to stay positive and have real conversations with these people because it's very important.
Yeah, you gotta stay positive. You know, don't
like it's okay to talk like I told like the way I like the way that he handled these interviews would be successful for the channel. Melissa is a phenomenal co-host. Yeah, I love seeing her being here and helping out with everything. It's wonderful.
The thing is too is that CVO, you
Tanner's getting older, man. He needs to be Leon in a Resident Evil 2 live action movie. I agree, man. That'd be great.
So it's great that we're fans, but we can't we have to respect the fact that they're people too, and there are some things that we have to. We want to ask them every single question in the book because we love their characters, but we have to remember
that people keep celebrities are regular people just like us. Exactly. Yeah. It's really too bad that people like have messaged him like, oh, thanks for following me. By the way, could you talk to this person? That's just blame that she take because it's like they're taking advantage of their friendship. Like, why would you do that to a person?
And it's like that's why a lot of celebrities hesitate being friends with certain fans because that it's those kind of fans that give fans like us who see the person behind the character not a real fair chance,
Yeah, Underground, are you gonna join us for Man of Steel tomorrow?
But yeah, and so CVO, just remember
funny
to talk to them like a person. It's like there are a million questions that you want to ask, but you have to be patient and pick and choose your questions.
Yeah, you got to pick and choose because not every question is going to be answered. So
and also you got to make sure the questions that you ask are not questions that would make you feel uncomfortable. If somebody asked you that question, it's like William, he openly admitted a few things that
I don't know, Retrolad.
I didn't even have to ask the question. He openly admitted. He was open enough to admit, just on the spot, a few things. Just a few things, and
Yeah.
that really made me feel good. And you want them to, you and that person want to feel like you're comfortable enough to be open, to just.
I think that's great.
Sorry, I'm just caught
who
off
you
guard
are.
with that message in the chat. Someone said earlier about don't let Chosen join the interview with Reina. That caught me off guard.
Yeah, Quan said that, man.
Bro, Quan, I know what you're trying to do, bro. Don't even try right now, bro. Listen, it would be cool to talk to Reina. It would be cool. She's a nice person. If you've seen her in Comic-Con and all that stuff, she's a nice person in real life. Obviously she plays a villain in the show, but Reina is a great person.
Retrolad wants to know, Chosen, if you've watched the Superman movie yet to get ready for
I'm still figuring it out, Richard, because I've been too tired I don't know, bro. I'm still figuring it out.
We all feel that, man. That energy can happen. Hey, Joe, sorry I'm late. I just got out of work. Just wanted to stop by. Well, make sure, Horror Fanatic, you watch on replay, man.
Yeah.
You missed a great interview, bro.
Yeah.
But there'll be more to look forward to.
Definitely.
So don't worry. More is coming. More conversations are happening. And more topics will be happening and the whole shebang.
I will say this, though, Joe. For any Cobra Kai character or any DC, for any Cobra Kai actor or actress or DC actor or actress, or even if we're lucky enough and we get Daredevil, the Daredevil actor or actress, that's the one. I insist on being on those interviews.
Of course.
Retrolad.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, Retrolad. That's a good one. I'm gonna dive into the animated films after I Man of Steel tomorrow. So fun.
Always I gotta say, I was gonna say something earlier, but I completely forgot. It was something about Cobra Kai related. I completely blanked out. Oh yeah, it was something about season 4. Because I know there's a lot of people who don't like season 4 that much, which
Right.
I understand. Because I don't like season 4 either. I'm gonna be completely honest. If I was writing season 4, right? Let's just say I was writing season 4. I was in the writers' room. The one big thing I would change, and I feel like the writers didn't do a much better job of this. Instead of the whole prom thing, because let's be honest, the prom episode was terrible, okay?
Yeah.
That whole episode was terrible. Instead of that, what I would have done personally, because this is the episode before the All Valley, right? I would have had like the final training episode instead of the prom episode, and then we get to see Hawk training with Daniel. Because that's my big problem with season 4. We never saw Hawk and Daniel.
That's true. That would have been nice.
Yeah.
Even Sam and Johnny too,
Yeah, believe it or not, I think Devin they brought it the kind of character Devin is. The kind of relationship that Devin has with Johnny.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be Johnny and Sam's relationship.
I agree. I agree with that. That's what should have happened, and Joe left again.
Yeah, and something else I wanted. I'll ask I'll ask William next time. If he could train one student, like one Miyagi-Do or Cobra Kai student.
Hold up. Sorry about that, guys.
And bond with. I was just gonna ask. I didn't get a chance to ask.
It's time to suit up in 2 weeks. Flex, clean bald head, and clean shaven. Yep, it's coming, Retrolad. Yeah, it's coming, bro.
So, I was just saying, Joe. I was just saying, one question I didn't get a chance to ask William, but I will next time. Is that if he could pick one Cobra Kai or Miyagi-Do student that he would really bond with, I wonder which one it would be.
I think I know who it would be, but I don't want to say.
It's coming, Retrolad. I gotta get that done this week.
I think for me, it would be Dimitri. Either Dimitri.
I think it would be, and just because the way I just feel like it would make too much sense if this is the answer, and I could be wrong too. I think he would choose Quan. Just because the way, like every time I think about it.
Well, when I say Cobra Kai, though, I mean Johnny's Cobra Kai.
Retro when I heard from him, basically he said he needed space last time I spoke to him, Retrolad, and that was
really?
2 weeks ago. Underground, did you see what Twitter posted about Paul Walker coming back in CGI and Fast and the Furious X Part 2? How do you feel about that? I hope they don't do that, because the whole point of doing Fast and the Furious 7 was to end that character. Please, for the love of God, do not mess with that legacy. I know these are the last 2 movies, but that's ridiculous if they're going to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's
Joe,
what it feels like, Retrolad.
Yeah. So Joe, who do you think? Which Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai student? When I say Cobra Kai, I mean Johnny's Cobra Kai student. Could you see Dennis maybe bonding with? Because I think it would either be Hawk or Dimitri.
I don't know about Dimitri. I see Hawk.
Okay.
Because you have to remember that in this scenario, we're talking about Dennis, not William Christopher Ford.
Right.
And Dennis is a heartless, might have a tiny bit of humanity, but his only level of humanity is he doesn't hurt children or women. So.
Right.
That's actually a good choice, Josh. Hawk and Dennis.
Well, CBO, I said that. I said
Walker send off. Don't need to bring him back. Agreed, horror fanatic.
CBO, I actually said Dimitri or Hawk. Remember?
Now that we're talking about Hawk, what's the biggest missed opportunity? And now I'm starting to think that I wish this never happened. I kind of wish Hawk didn't redeem him at the end of season 3, because you know why? I feel like instead of redeeming Hawk, what would have been so much better? And I feel like the writers made a huge mistake. I wanted to see a Silver and Hawk duo.
Well, yeah, I wasn't thinking of him being a big character, Retrolad. I was thinking he could be a thug, or he could be a member of the Court of Owls. Nothing massive, but I think him being a stunt guy, I think he could still do some pretty big fights with a Batman actor. That's what I was saying. I respect his craft. I think he could do some big, really good stunts in terms of that.
But yeah, Joe, what do you think of a Hawk and Silver duo?
That'd be cool.
I feel like the writers. Listen, I love the big 3, but why? I just don't get.
They should have kept Hawk instead of the Kenny stuff. They should have kept Hawk in Cobra Kai past season.
Actually, you know what sensei I would have loved to see Hawk bond with? This may shock you, Mike Barnes.
Well, yeah, that's something we all wanted.
But Joe, what were you gonna say earlier about Hawk and Silver? You're gonna say something.
Well, I was gonna say I think they should have kept him past season 4 on his dark path instead of doing him Miyagi-Do winning the tournament, because we should have seen Silver corrupt him the way that, because what Kreese did was fine, but the way that Kreese did that wasn't nearly to the point that Silver could have. And I think we could have seen some really interesting stuff that way.
And you know what, Joe? You know what would have been better? And that would have been great, because you know what Silver would have taught Hawk?
The silver bullet.
And not only that, he could have easily taught him the Quicksilver method.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snyder fans saying wall it's closed, idiots, and saying Superman is too emotional. Read a comic, watch an animated series. Yeah, agreed, Retro.
But
don't worry, I got videos about that coming today.
But I would have really liked to see Hawk and Mike Barnes, because I feel like he has a lot in common with Mike.
Well, the fact that we talked about it here is Mike Barnes was underutilized. I mean, for budget reasons.
Yeah.
I'm seriously doing a video about what this show would look like if it was bought by. I'm going to say something wild. I'm going to say something wild, and I tend to agree with this. Whenever these spinoffs happen, Max needs to pick up these spinoffs out of all the other streaming services, because the way that Netflix treated this show, they do not deserve to continue to carry these rights.
By the way, I was going to say, and Melissa brought up a good point about the Hawk and Mike Barnes, because I did notice this, because I did actually rewatch that episode again.
Agreed.
Was it season 6, episode 4? Yeah, it was that episode. Yes. Yeah. I rewatched that episode. I did notice something. I don't know if Joe or Melissa, you noticed this. When Mike Barnes was calling up the 12 names, you know who he first called out?
Hawk.
Hawk. So you brought up a good point about Hawk and Mike Barnes. I think it was such a big opportunity.
Yeah.
No, I don't like Sony either, man. Sony's bad. They're both bad.
They're both bad.
So let's get them away from them. Let's get them away from both of them.
Bro, I agree, bro. Like, Mike Barnes should have been more involved in the final season.
Yeah, I agree. It's interesting how Williams said that he didn't see a story for Mike in Barcelona, but I feel like there would have been one.
I feel like they would actually, because I
feel like though I feel like with that, I feel like he might have had a point, because he made a good point. There were a lot of characters, and if he would have been very underutilized in the Barcelona. He just would have been just brought in as a coach. And
True.
Because there were so many other characters that they had to focus on, they wouldn't have been able to give Mike the focus he deserved. So I do see I see where William was going with that.
But you know something I thought about that's kind of interesting?
Go ahead, Joe.
I kind of wish, and maybe I'm alone in this thought, I know that he had his whole quest to do, but I don't think Daniel should have went to Barcelona. I think Daniel should have stayed home and figured out his stuff, and we let Johnny, Chosen, and Mike figure out how to deal with the tournament, because he wasn't that involved with the tournament.
That's the thing I did notice, Joe, and I want to actually bring up what you said earlier, Melissa. The thing I want to bring up, I know a lot of people mentioned how, they can't do this because there's too many characters. Netflix, why can't you do the same thing that you did with Sharing Things? Make the episodes longer. If you want to spend more time with these characters.
Again, it probably goes back to budget.
And that's the problem. Like, I just feel like,
I feel like for me, I see what you're saying, Joe, but I feel like to not have Daniel in a karate tournament, like,
I'm not saying he wouldn't be at it at all. I'm not. So let me clarify. He would be there eventually.
Well, even eventually, but I'm talking about like in the beginning. Like it started in Barcelona.
But here's the thing, though. He needed to be late because he didn't contribute to that story. So
yeah, I do see where Joe is coming from here.
Because when he was there, he was so.
He was a balance, bro.
The kids needed him, and he was chasing
too. It was like he contributed to it though a little bit because that's Miyagi. Miyagi.
But you want to know something interesting? If Daniel didn't go, Johnny would have been level-headed.
That is actually, I did notice. And here's another thing: people are saying Daniel had to go, but now after watching part 3, I'm like, did he really need to go? Because
I don't know. I kind of see both sides. I do kind of I do see why they did have him go, because that was how they were going to find out about Mr. Miyagi and how he killed somebody.
But they could have built that story in a different way too.
I know, but you also think about keeping in mind with what William said. It's Netflix, and they do things a certain way, whether they agree with them or not. Remember, he said that the fight scenes between him and Daniel were supposed to be longer, and they cut it. So it's like they do things a certain way for a reason.
Yeah, no, they could. They like I said, they could have done something. Maybe that's it. Maybe not necessarily go to Barcelona, but maybe Daniel should have came still to Barcelona. But I would love to see it, Rexelad. But I think what should have happened is Daniel should have been there, but with his own agenda from the start, so that he could kind of step out of the story, so that way he would still have a story, but he clearly wasn't focused on the kids when he was there.
But it's like I said, it goes back to Netflix and doing things the way they wanted to do.
But here's the first problem: they didn't know what they were doing. So what they should have done is let the writers take care of things. And I'm sorry, okay, the budget thing is stupid because it doesn't cost as much money for the effects. And if they would have delivered, just like William said, right? If they would have gave quality writing, quality storytelling, they would have had the budget to do all the things they wanted to do. So
I agree.
That's a good point, actually.
Like I said, I agree. I definitely agree. But I can understand why they had Daniel in the beginning at the tournament. I can understand that because, like it or not, and I know that this is kind of like an iconic thing, but he is, and maybe he didn't contribute as much as we thought he was going to. But I hate to get all iconic on you guys, but to have Daniel not be in the tournament and not be in from beginning to end is kind of like a disservice to his character because he is.
Well, here's the thing though that I was thinking about, Melissa, and I know people might not like this. I think Daniel being there hurt the story.
Like, are we forgetting? Like, that's what
because here's the thing that people keep forgetting, right? Because of the bickering, because of the thing, the tournament would have been won easier if Daniel was not there.
Maybe not, but like I said, I hate to get all iconic with you, but he is the Karate Kid, so
I mean, I love iconicness, but Daniel
had to be there. Unfortunately, he had to be there because that is who he is.
And also, I want to,
but his heart wasn't in it, though. That's the problem.
I know. Like I said, I'm not disagreeing with you. I see where you're coming from. It's like maybe it hurt the story, maybe it hurt it, maybe it didn't. I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, I hate to get all iconic with you, but he was going to be in that tournament from beginning to end, no matter what, because he is the Karate Kid.
I mean,
here's the thing, though. I want to bring up something because people. If you're a true fan of Karate Kid 1, you should know this, and I'm just going to be honest. Mr. Miyagi even told Daniel this. Like, there's a reason why Mr. Miyagi never wanted Daniel to go on any tournaments, right? He even said it so many times. Like, I feel like he should have listened to him in the beginning. I'm going to just say it. I'm going to just want to say
I think it's as Daniel said before. He forgets the most important lessons that Mr. Miyagi taught, and by the time he remembers them, sometimes sometimes it could be too late. Sometimes it's near when it's more convenient. But
yeah, I agree with that. That would have been nice.
And the whole budget thing, Joe, I agree with you in the budget thing because you're telling me you can get freaking Carrie Underwood to be in the show and perform that song.
But we spent money on that, and we didn't, and we could have got way better things in season 4. That's crazy to me.
That's the thing I don't get. And then also, the Sekai Taikai, I'm sorry, okay? I love the tournament. Okay, I don't know what happened to Joe again. I love the Sekai Taikai, but my biggest issue with this tournament, and obviously it's the show's budget, is I do wish that the arena looks so much better because when we first saw part 1, I did not expect the arena to look like that. I did not expect it to look like that. I expected a little bit bigger.
Bigger, yeah.
Yeah, I expected a lot more bigger because, it's the world tournament, it's the championship. And I'm like, yeah, makes sense. And honestly, I'm actually happy that it took place in the All Valley because the All Valley looks so much bigger.
Yeah.
In the space.
Yeah. And like I said, I said, I see what you guys are saying. Maybe it hurt the story. Maybe Daniel being there hurt the story. Maybe it didn't. I don't know. But as far as they were going to have him in the tournament from beginning to end, no matter what, because like I said, you need to get all iconic, but he's the Karate Kid. So him being there was from beginning to end was going to happen no matter what.
That would have been cool, Cecile.
I know you guys hate to say. I know you guys hate that, but it's true.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I will say is that I think the one thing I do like about Daniel being there is that it kind of does set up Kwan's death, because the whole thing with Kwan's death was involved with the Miyagi thing, because Miyagi, he got rid of someone, and now Kwan is here in the final episode. He's trying to get rid of someone, but then the outcome was different. So, Kwan thought, which I still don't like, but, it's the story, it's the plot. Netflix, why you gotta get rid of some of the best characters in the show? And that's my question to Netflix now. Like, first it was freaking Thanos in Squid Game Season 2, now it's freaking Kwan, Jae-sung. It's like, you're trying to get rid of characters that people love. You're like, oh, we're gonna get rid of some of these characters. We don't want these characters here anymore. I'm like, bro, did you Netflix? Did you see Quan? Like, go watch season 6 and go look at Quan real quick, and tell me, oh, you think it was the right idea to get rid of that character? I'm watching you, Netflix. I'm watching you now because I'm getting sick and tired of you killing off great characters. Oh yeah, Beyond the Kai said something to you.
Oh, tonight, you know what? We may have to wait a couple of weeks because I'm still like waiting to get, I think, my cable to get hooked up. But I'll let you know. I'll let you know when we can do it. All right?
Next Sunday?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, it depends. But yeah, Netflix. I'm still mad at Netflix for getting rid of Quan's character. And yes, I'm gonna blame Netflix on Quan's death because they needed a cliffhanger for part 2. You could have come up with a better cliffhanger than Quan dying. Like you could have used and people. I remember when people were theorizing that Silver could burn down the Miyagi-Do dojo. That would have been a way better cliffhanger for part 2. Honestly.
Yeah, that would have been. That
Like-
would have been.
Yeah, that would matter. It would raise the stakes for part 3, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Beyond the Kyle, I'll let you know. I hope Joe comes back soon.
I know there's some people that came up with the what if theory, like what if Axel quit the Iron Dragons earlier, and then Silver recruits Quan to the Iron Dragons, and then Quan's
That
like
would
new.
have been insane.
Yeah, he would have been the new Iron Dragon captain. And if that's the case, as much as I love Robbie, they gotta take the risk. Quan would have probably injured Robbie because he's gonna injure him, and then Miguel takes Quan's place, and Miguel and Quan fight in the finals. So you gotta take the risk of that happening. I mean, they could do a way where it actually makes sense. Like maybe if, and this is the only way I could see it because this would have made it so much more personal. Maybe like Robbie wins the match, but then Silver bribes the ref so that Quan can actually win. But obviously, Quan's gonna injure him at some point in the fight. So Silver and Quan basically takes away the win from
Yeah,
Robbie.
I don't know if I would have a. I don't know if I would be. I don't know if I would like have Silver bribe the ref. That's becoming too repetitive.
I just feel like this is the only time I was okay with it
I know,
because
but I'd have him do it like a different. I'd have him do it like a different way. I wouldn't have him bribe the ref again because again, I didn't like how he bribed the ref in season 5. I feel like that's becoming too repetitive. And that makes Silver look weak.
And that's the thing, I'm very surprised because when I saw, because I initially thought that Silver, before part 3, I initially thought that Silver was going to bribe the ref so that Axel can injure Robbie. But that was not the case because when Axel injured him, the ref is like, oh no, I didn't see it. I'm blind. I didn't see it.
Ref was an idiot. But yeah, I'm glad they didn't go the bribing the ref route because it makes Silver look weak.
It does make Silver look weak. I mean, you could still have Quan injure Robbie, like the same way Axel injured Robbie. Like they have like a similar way.
That's fine, but no bribing refs. That makes it.
Yeah, no bribing refs. Like I think Robbie would still he would still like kind of win the fight, but then Quan takes away from that and he injures him. And that would make it more personal for Miguel. That would have
been interesting. Beyond the Kai, Yoon and the Iron Dragons. That would have been really interesting.
Miguel would be so pissed off, and then you would kind of set up a Miguel and Quan rivalry a little bit, where Miguel's like, "Oh no, you hurt my brother. Me and you, Quan, we're gonna fight on." Quan's like, "Oh, number 2, you want to fight?"
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wish we got a better Miguel and Quan fight, honestly. I feel like we needed a better fight with those two.
Yeah, guess Joe's not coming back.
Let me see what's going on with them.
Yeah, me too. Beyond the Kai.
Yeah. To this day, I'm still upset that Sam and Silver never interacted in the show.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. I mean, don't get me wrong. He would have tried to manipulate her, but Sam wouldn't have gone for it. Uh,
That, I think the perfect time to do that is before Miguel fights Axel, because
Yeah.
That would like he would try to manipulate her because that would make Miguel off balance, but then Sam doesn't listen to him.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Is like she wouldn't go for it. Honestly, like I would have thought like Silver would have tried to get one, at least either both of Daniel's kids or at least one of them to join his dojo. Like he would have tried with Sam, like he would have tried to manipulate her, and like I see a scenario like where he would have tried with Sam. Like Sam would have been the first person that he would have tried to manipulate into joining, and like Sam, like she might have been like tempted, but after but she would have ultimately turned him down.
Yeah.
She would have said no. Post season 4, I would have said he would have had a great shot with Anthony.
Yeah, because that you see now that would have made sense because actually that would make sense. Yeah.
Like post season 4, that he would have had a great shot with Anthony. Like Anthony probably would have accepted.
Oh,
And
for sure.
that would have that would have been an interesting thing because there would have been brother and sister against each other.
I kind of wish that happened now. Not gonna lie.
But like I said, he would have tried with Sam first, but Sam ultimately would have refused. Which
And that would have been great actually, the whole Anthony thing, because you can kind of give Sam another arc in season 4.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, the writers, you kind of.
But it's like they didn't go that route. Like, I mean,
No, that's the funny part because you know how crazy it would be. I know it's not happen. Imagine how sad it would be when how Tori was with Kreese and Quan.
right.
Just imagine Sam is right there with Axel Wolf, and then both Miguel and Robbie are on focus. That would have been such a terrible situation right there.
Yeah, that would have been terrible. But truth is, again, Sam wouldn't have fallen for Wolf's manipulation tactics, especially after she saw him beating Axel.
I mean, what if it was before that though? Like before she.
I don't think she would have. She wouldn't have been disloyal to Miyagi-Do.
What did I miss?
Oh no, we're just talking about what if situation, like Sam joining the Iron Dragons, like a what if situation.
But I don't think I don't think she would have gone for it. She wouldn't have betrayed Miyagi-Do.
It's just it would have been funny because funny, but kind of sad because both Miguel, like your top.
Wouldn't have been like when you look at Sam as a character, it just wouldn't have been within her character to do that.
Of course, but I'm just saying, like, it would have been sad because you have both of your top fighters, Miguel and Robbie, on focus. Like, that would have been such a terrible situation. Like, I'm just gonna say.
But it's like, why would Sam even go to the Iron Dragons?
Yeah, why would she go? Is it maybe like, let's just say it would be funny. Like, imagine she's like, you know what? Screw me, I'm gonna go to this dojo.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not within Sam's character.
I mean, season 6. How is season 6?
I agree with that, Underground.
I mean, if it was before season 6, they would definitely not do it. But if we're talking just season 6 and how they wrote this whole season, I wouldn't be surprised because this whole season was just a mess. Like
when you look at the series though as a whole, like looking at Sam's character though, she's been loyal to Miyagi-Do.
It was having issues for a minute.
I mean, yeah, I would agree with that before season 6. Like, I would agree. Like, she would never do that. Like, I don't think they would write her character like that. But now that we have season 6, I just don't see a way they wouldn't do it because season 6 is just. It's just not.
Well, season 6 is like they didn't give her like much to do anyway. But
I agree with that. Hey, Brandon, how are you, man?
I don't see her even joining in season 6, no matter what.
I really wish. Who said something about Robbie? I really wish.
You're doing good, Brandon, and we're going to be doing more in the future.
You know what? I agree, not Brandon. I think it was Beyond the Kai who said that. I agree, Beyond the Kai. And the whole thing of Robbie being on focus makes no sense to me. Because if you look back at season 5, look at season 5, right? Robbie breaks up with Tori. But did that make him unfocused in season 5?
Mm-hmm.
No, not at all. He was not unfocused.
That storytelling decision has no motive. It's like, what?
Yeah.
It makes no sense because he's so focused in season 5, even if he broke
Yeah,
up with
it was
Tori.
amazing, Brandon. We found out some great stuff, Brandon. And we're
Yeah.
going to do more with him in the future.
But I was gonna say, it's like season 5, he was so focused, even though he broke up with Tori. But then in season 6, he's unfocused. I'm like, bro, what is this writing, bro? Who wrote these episodes? Because I want to go in that writer's room and I want to tell them.
Did you look? Did you find the writers' names so we could?
I'm gonna find right now because this makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Hey, Metal, how you doing?
Tolbert Kai. I want to see who wrote these episodes. Because when I find you, I'm gonna message you. I'm gonna say, hey, what was this writing? Especially episode 7, season 6, episode 7 for sure. Because what they did to my boy Robbie on episode, I don't want to even.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Miguel confronts Robbie about it, you know it's.
Yeah, I'm
it's a
sorry,
problem.
but I'm glad you brought up Yarkai. If I was writing that episode, the dog in the fight, when Miguel confronted Robbie should have been focused after that. He should have been focused on that.
Yeah. No. I
That's
agree.
crazy. You can really hear the disappointment in William's voice when he talked about the Daniel and him fight.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. To me.
And that too, Joe. Like the whole season is a disappointment. The whole season, honestly, this whole season. I want to see who wrote episodes 7 and 8. I want to see this Snake on a Plane. I want to see who wrote this. Jennifer. Oh no, Jennifer. Who is this? Who's this writer? Who are you?
Yeah, I'll be doing my rewatch review today for that one because that one's long overdue, Brandon. Along another series of topics, talking about Transformers, talking about my DC Roundup video that's long overdue. Now that I'm on my weekend,
Ashley.
I mean, I just didn't. I'm gonna go on a tangent, man. I'm so. A budget is the reason that we didn't get a Mike versus Dennis fight. That's
Okay, I found the person, Joe, who wrote
that makes
these
me so
episodes.
mad.
Ashley, I don't know how to say your last name. You did a terrible job with these 2 episodes. Because first of all, Robbie should be focused. No matter what the situation's going on, he should be focused.
When I hear the name Ashley, that makes me think of the terrible character from The Boys
Oh God, John.
that's always tearing out her hair.
Yeah.
Robbie should have been focused. What should have happened is that Robbie.
Yeah, wait till my rewatch video for that one, Brandon. I have lots of thoughts.
Robbie should have been.
General Kenobi,
Robbie
we've
should
been
have gone
waiting for
crazy in this tournament. Okay, I'm gonna just say he should have done way more than what he was supposed to do. Okay, because I'm gonna. No, and the whole Daniel fight should have been longer. I do agree with that.
Yeah. Yep.
No, I was charged. My phone died because I was at work all day. Moron.
Sorry, Joe. That made me laugh.
Well, Joe, CBO, I'm gonna actually have to start heading out. Okay.
No worries,
Okay.
Alyssa. Good talk. Stay
Yeah.
tuned for more videos later.
Definitely. All right. Oh, I
Yeah.
can't wait for your Mary and Sam videos.
Yeah, I'm working on them. We'll see if they get done tonight. Otherwise, they'll definitely get done tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
See
I'm
you
gonna
guys.
stay here and chat with people for a little bit. I might do a video game stream in a little bit as well because my phone's gonna take some time to charge, and I need
Okay.
to use it to record videos. But I wanted to chat with you guys first while we're hanging out here before I go stream. I wouldn't be surprised if Cobra Kai Kid knows the team, the producers, and everybody involved the Cobra Kai series. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. All right. Have a great night, everyone.
Yeah, get some good rest, Melissa.
All right. Bye bye.
You rocked it. Take care.
I'm gonna see who wrote episode 9.
Because you love that episode?
Yeah. Who wrote this? Chris Raffarie. I don't know how to say your last name. Oh yeah, he did a great job with episode 9. And who wrote episode 13? I want to see who wrote episode 13.
If I stream something tonight, guys, what game should I play tonight?
What game you should play tonight?
Yeah, well, I'll play any game tonight. I'm feeling kind of crazy tonight. What game should I stream? And we just have a fun Q&A talking about everything we love tonight.
I mean, yeah, actually, that's a good question. I'm gonna think about it.
Because I'm not trying to pull a Jake. I don't want to play Marvel Rivals every single day. Sometimes I play something different. Do you think Lex Luthor was portrayed better in Superman Returns than Batman v Superman, since he's a manipulative guy jealous of Superman? Yeah, I think he was much better portrayed there. You want me to play Fortnite, Cecile?
What games do you have, Joel?
I have lots of games.
You have lots. Okay, I gotta think about this.
You've seen some of the ones I have.
Yeah, I did see.
I got Batman Arkham City. I got Arkham Knight. I got Batman Arkham Asylum, and show Chosen how good the game is. I could play Asylum.
Yeah, you should play that game. I want to see how.
I could do a Batman Arkham Asylum stream. But am I doing the gameplay Retrolad or like the challenge maps, or just or the story Retrolad? Do you have Star Fox? No, because I have a PS5. Because Star Fox that's like a Nintendo game, right? Story mode from the very beginning. Okay, I can do that. Do you have any of the Lego games? I think I have Lego Supervillains. Arkham City is goated. It's one of my favorites.
Bro, it made me so happy when David said that he loves Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I do have Lego games like DC Supervillains. I might have Beyond Gotham, but I think that was just on my PS3. I definitely have Supervillains though, because I have a disc copy of that one. Give me 1 second. I'll get it for you, Brandon. Let me get that for you real quick. Yeah, okay.
I mean, it makes so much sense if David loves Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, because if you actually seen the trailer for Superman, it kind of gives you that Sam Raimi vibe.
Yeah, stream the Arkham games? Okay.
Like, the new Superman movie gives me Sam Raimi vibes. I don't know why. I get Spider-Man 2 vibes. For some reason, I get Spider-Man 2 vibes. Maybe it's just me, Joe, but I get Spider-Man 2 vibes from that.
Okay, so this is the one you were talking about, Brandon. I have Lego DC Supervillains. It's a pretty fun one. Don't know if I ever finished this one completely though, but I'll have to play it soon. So I have that one. You're a fan of that one, Brandon? Okay, cool. It's ridiculous they're putting out Spider-Man 2 back in theaters. Sony wants the money. That's why they gave us. I feel like Superman animated series and All-Star Superman. Oh, it feels like Superman animated series and All-Star Superman.
Yeah, and also, Richard, it feels like Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2 vibes. Because if you watch Spider-Man 2, did you notice in one scene in Spider-Man 2, the people were actually helping Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man with the train scene.
Oh, cool. William just messaged me back saying he's looking forward to another chat soon.
And that scene, Richard, that scene where people in the train are helping Spider-Man.
I wish I got Lego Dimensions because it's fun like Disney and Infinity. Man, I miss Disney Infinity, man. I never got Lego Dimensions. I wish I would have gotten that one.
But yeah, Richard, I was going to say, it gives you that vibe from the trailer where
so we'll start Arkham in a little bit, guys. It's 9:18. We'll keep this stream going for a few more minutes, and then my phone needs to charge. So then we'll play some Arkham Asylum. And you guys can come there and talk to me. Retrolad, are you going to start? Should I start a Discord call? Or are you guys going to come on Discord and chat?
Yes, Cecile. Spider-Man 2 is getting the extended
edition they're putting. How long is the extended cut?
I heard it's a few minutes. I don't know how long it is. I think it's a few minutes longer than the original. I want to see, when does it...
No, it's late? Okay, well then you can just come in the chat and watch me stream. Sony needs to wake up and give us Tavern 3 with Andrew Garfield. Yeah, I feel that.
Yo, Joe, I'm going to head out.
Oh, you're leaving?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll see you later.
No worries. I wouldn't mind if you want to play Lego DC Supervillains because it's such a fun game. That is a fun game. Maybe I see how long it takes to download. I would love to play it. I love that game, honestly. Build custom supervillains, embrace your inner stuff. James Gunn says there's no update on Static Shock in the DCU yet. No worries. I'm sure it will all get figured out soon. I'll start streaming a game soon. Since Chosen just decided to leave all of a sudden out of nowhere. No Cecile spinoffs, please. Thank God. All right, no worries. Thanks for being here, Cecile. Let's see what else were they reading comment-wise. Thank you. I've seen 2.1. Yeah, I just want more Blue Beetle too, man. Yeah, I'll start a stream soon. Let's do a vote. Arkham Asylum or Lego DC Supervillains? Who wants which game? You vote Arkham, Retrolad. Easy. Okay, 1 vote for Lego DC. Wow, Lego DC Supervillains, that's 2 votes. Dang, Retrolad, you need another comment for Arkham where you're going to be outvoted. How's everyone? You don't care? I mean, play whatever you feel like playing. I know. Good night, Retrolad. I'll have lots more streams and videos out for you tonight. I'm going to finally finish my roundup video when my phone gets done charging, Retrolad, so you can see my take on the latest DC news. I studied all of Boba's videos to come up with a good one, so I'm excited to share it with you guys. I got a lot of great content for you guys coming tonight. All right, since Retrolad's going to bed, I guess I better play some Lego DC. What are you doing right now, Underground? Are you busy tonight, or what are you up to? Yes, he does have a secret project. Well, I'm going to mention some ideas about that. Oh, sounds good. Okay, I'm going to go get Lego DC set up, guys. Thanks for being in the stream. I'll catch you in my Lego DC stream, okay? See you guys in a little bit. Bye.